The Prophet ﷺ, the first khutbah that he gave when he went into Medina, he said that, Ya ayyuhan nas, afshu salam, like spread peace. In other words, create security in your societies. And in Sahih al-Bukhari, one of the three hallmarks of faith is, the third one is badru salam lil alam, spreading global peace, spreading peace around the world. So the Muslims we are supposed to be spreaders of peace, global peace. So that peace is what the Prophet ﷺ told us to spread. And then he said, Afshu salam bainakum. And then he said, Wa at'imu ta'am, and feed the hungry. So there you have security at the very bottom of the pyramid, and then the next are the physiological needs. Because if you're about to have your lunch and a bear or a lion shows up, you're going to forget your lunch. Security is the fundamental need before the physiological need. And then he says, wasilul arham, maintain kinship bonds, because family is the foundation of a society. So you're moving up in this hierarchy. And then he said, wasallu bil layli wan nasu niyam, and then pray in the night when people are asleep. So now you have to work on yourself, because everything, the hierarchy is there. Your securities are taken care of, your food's taken care of, you have family. Now work on yourself and get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he says, تَدْخُلُ الْجَنَّةَ بِالسَّلَامِ. So it begins with peace and it ends with peace. Then he said, you will enter paradise in peace. And Salman al-Farisi, the Prophet ﷺ told him that no one will enter paradise without a passport. And he literally used the word jawaz in the hadith. لا يدخل الجنة أحد إلا بجواز من الله مكتوب فيه ادخلوها بسلام آمنين. In other words, دعه يمر. Like just laissez-faire, let him pass. So here in dunya, you have all these boundaries. There in the akhirah as well. Jannah has a border patrol. So you're not going to get into paradise without a passport, with a visa from Allah. But that visa is a permanent, they call it like permanent residence visa. You'll have iqama da'ima, right? And you become a citizen in paradise. That's in the hadith. So it's really quite extraordinary. So you've got that side of the dunya, which this is the half of the world that we're in. I hear people whining all the time about how horrible things are. They don't know how horrible. I'm somewhat of a historian. I've read a lot of history. I have a degree in history, but my reading of history, don't complain, because you have no idea, what has happened in the past in history. It's terrifying what's happened. What people have gone through, the hunger they've suffered. I mean, our Prophet ﷺ suffered immensely, but yet he never complained. Show me anywhere where he complains. The only complaint the prophets give is to Allah. They don't complain to anybody else. There's nowhere where he complains, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because they understood everything. So now why didn't they complain? That's the important thing. And this is what the Quran teaches us, why they didn't complain. And here's the reason. In the Hikam of Ibn Ata'illah, he says, لِيُخَفِّفْ أَلَمَ الْبَلَاءِ عَنْكَ عِلْمُكَ بِأَنَّهُ سُبْحَانَهُ هُوَ الْمُبْتَلِي لَكَ. In order to diminish the pain of your tribulation, he has given you knowledge, glory be to him, that he is the one trying you. So once you know that diminishes the weight of the tribulation. And this is what our Prophet ﷺ knew. And this is why at the lowest point of his life, which is Ta'if, he does that remarkable dua at Ta'if, that as long as you're not upset with me, I'm fine with what's come to me. This is from the book of Allah, when the Prophet was commanded, وَاصْبِرْ لِحُكْمِ رَبِّكَ فَإِنَّكَ بِأَعْيُنِنَا, in Surah At-Tur. Be patient with the hukm of your Lord, with this decree of your Lord, because you are in our providential care. So then he says, فَالَّذِي وَاجَهَتْكَ مِنْهُ الْأَقْدَارِ هُوَ الَّذِي عَوَّدَكَ حُسْنَ الْإِخْتِيَارِ. So the one who sends these trials and tribulations that you hate, he is also the one who has accustomed you to things that you love. And so he says, بما تحبه فاشكره على ما أولاك. This is Ahmed Zarruq. واصبر له فيما به تولاك. So be grateful with the things you love from Allah and be patient with those things that Allah have sent you that are difficult. And this is why إن في ذلك الآيات لكل صبار شكور. This Quran are signs for people that are constantly patient and constantly grateful. You have to be one or the other in any given circumstance. If it's a trial, be patient. If it's a blessing, which is also a trial, then the response is gratitude. Those are the responses.